Politics is a very interesting game. Yesterday, Raila Odinga met with Dr. Mukhisa Kituyi, who has declared his bid for the presidency in 2022. He also met with Professor Kivutha Kibwana, the Makwiny governor, and James Orengo. This is what Raila Odinga updated on his official Facebook page and Twitter handle. Branch with my longtime allies, Governor Professor Kivutha Kibwana and Dr. Mukhisa Kituyi. Senator James Orengo also showed up. In fact, many Kenyans were asking why whoever updated this used the term showed up. Good seeing Dr. Kituyi after such a long time away from home. This meeting is actually causing a storm within political circles. What was the objective of this particular meeting? Because I've always opined on this platform severally that in politics, nothing happens out of mere coincidence. Everything is normally designed to achieve specific political objectives. What was the objective of this particular meeting? What was the objective? In this video today, I want us to look at the objective of this particular meeting. But before we do that, please take a second or two and click subscribe button if you are not already subscribed to this channel. Now let us get back to the main issue. Yesterday, Raila Odinga met with these three gentlemen. And anybody who follows the politics of this country, this particular picture, the first thing which comes to mind was the fight for multipartyism and the second liberation in this country. These were the faces of that struggle. I know there are others who are not here, but these faces represent that generation. The young Turks in Ford, Kenya, or in Ford. But it was not the first time these guys were meeting. If you've been keenly following politics in this country, then you should have realized that on 7th of February, a photo was also circulated. And in that photo, there was Dr. Mukhisa Kituyi, there was Raila Odinga, in that photo, there was Minor Commander, and in that photo, there was James Orengo, and there was also someone resembling SK Macharia. So the meeting today is just a continuation of other meetings. But this one, because they made it public, there's something it was intended to achieve. And I want to take you back a bit. There was a time Raila Odinga held a meeting at his Capitol Hill office with the then Ford Kenya Secretary General, Eseli Simiyu, Wafula Wamunyinyi, and Eugene Wamalwa. After that meeting, a coup was staged in Fort Kenya. And I remember opining on this platform that the coup in Fort Kenya was actually intended to pave way for Mukhisa Kituyi. So the question is, what was the objective of this particular meeting? Because we also know that Professor Kivutha Kibwana at some point drifted to Team Tanga and started working very closely with William Ruto. And of late, he has avoided public appearances with William Ruto. What has changed? Or is it possible that Professor Kivutha Kibwana was being used to spy on William Ruto? Or is it possible that Professor Kivutha Kibwana has realized that on the other side, there is no hope, it's not fitting in? Those are some of the questions which we really need to get answers to. But why do you think this meeting was set up? In my considered opinion, I have only 5 possible reasons. The first reason is that this meeting was actually a reaction to an alliance which is being formed between Musalia Mudavadi And when I talk of Musalia Mudavadi, then you can replace Musalia Mudavadi with Mukhisa Kituyi, Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka. Then here you look at Professor Kivutha Kibwana, and then Gideon Moi. So these three individuals together with Moses Wetangula, that is Gideon Moi, Moses Wetangula, Kalonzo Musyoka, and Musalia Mudavadi, are forming an alliance for 2022. In 2017, these guys worked very closely with Raila Odinga. And if you've been following them of late, they're trying to get out of Raila Odinga's shadow. They want to be taken seriously as people who are focused on their presidential bids. And that's why when they were in Matungu the other day, their message was not about the campaign in Matungu, but it was about Raila Odinga stepping down for them, and it was also about their individual ambitions for 2022. So I think what Raila Odinga is doing is just sending a message to these people that, look here guys, there are alternatives. Okay, if you decide to go that direction, then what I can do, I can get Mukhisa Kituyi and even support him and match him with Professor Kivutha Kibwana. Or I can bring them on board. So that's the first thing I'm getting from that particular meeting. I don't know what you think of that. I want to hear your thoughts on this. Do you think this meeting was about reaction to the other meeting between Gideon Moi, Kalonzo, and Moses Wetangula, together with Musalia Mudavadi? I want to hear your thoughts on that. Number two, maybe, I could be right, I could be wrong, that this meeting was also designed to send a message about the history of this country. All these guys were young Turks. They fought so hard for the freedom which Kenyans enjoy today. When I saw this photo, I became nostalgic. You know, my dad used to work at the University of Nairobi as a librarian. So he used to get me a lot of materials, especially on student politics. And by the way, that's where I developed interest in politics. So I used to read a lot about Mukhisa Kituyi, Wafula Buke, Mwandawiro Mganga. I used to read a lot about Awenja. My dad would tell me so many stories about those people. So I got interested. So every time I would ask him to bring me those materials. So I used to read them. In fact, there was a time I used to know almost all the former university student leaders of Ed and members of parliament because I used to read politics. So when I saw that photo, what came into my mind was actually the struggle for multipartism. So probably these guys met as comrades, the young Turks, the reform-oriented leaders. So this meeting can be used to remind Kenyans where we are coming from. Remember, we are currently changing the constitution. This meeting could be a reminder about where we are coming from as a country. I'm looking at it from that perspective also. Number three, why these guys met, in my considered opinion, is about 2022 political formation. Mukhisa Kituyi has already declared his bid and he launched his campaign last week. Professor Kivutha Kibwana has also said that he wants to run for the presidency in 2022. At some point, he was angling to be William Ruto's running mate, according to what most people were thinking. But in my considered opinion, there's no space for him on the other side. There is no way Professor Kivutha Kibwana can share a podium and a platform with the Rigathi Gachagua. No. Alice Wahome, maybe. But what about Ndindi Nyoro? I don't think they can fit. Didmas Baraza fitting with Professor Kivutha Kibwana. So I think it's not fitting there. So he's now looking for another option, which can only be found on this other side. So in my considered opinion, there is political formation. In fact, as we head towards 2022, we are going to witness several political formations. So Raila Odinga is bringing on board Mukhisa Kituyi, Professor Kivutha Kibwana. I don't know the next person they are going to bring on board. Maybe Peter Kenneth, because he was in the other meeting. Then again, there could also be Hassan Joho coming on board so that they form a serious and formidable team for 2022. Professor Kivutha Kibwana is the current governor for Makwiny. He has served his 2 terms. He promised that at the end of his term, he's going to go home. But who can leave power? Power is so sweet. So Professor Kivutha Kibwana might decide, okay, Kenyans love me, so I want to run for the office of the president, or I want to run for the prime minister. Raila Odinga could be in talks with Mukhisa Kituyi, so that Mukhisa Kituyi can be his running mate, or could even be the presidential candidate in their formation. That's how I'm looking at it. Number 4, maybe this meeting was about the support for the Building Bridges Initiative process. Professor Kivutha Kibwana was one of the proponents of the BBI. Then from nowhere, he changed. That BBI is not good, BBI is due what, Kenyans must be consulted. While in the first report he received it, he even spoke at Bomas. Is it possible that Raila Odinga has now decided that the best way for us now is to rally reform-oriented guys, so that when we present these issues outside there, then we can tell people about the history of this country? I'm looking at that possibility, that Raila Odinga is actually rallying support for the BBI, so that Professor Kivutha Kibwana will be part of the BBI campaigns. Mukhisa Kituyi is going to join and be part of the BBI campaigns. And lastly, compromise candidates. I read somewhere that the person who convinced Dr. Mukhisa Kituyi to resign was President Uhuru Kenyatta. He convinced him to resign and then come and contest for the presidency. Is it possible that Dr. Mukhisa Kituyi is the compromised candidate? Yesterday, I was also talking to someone at where we normally jog at the gym. And this guy was like, Lee, in my considered opinion, Mukhisa Kituyi should be the compromise candidate. If Raila wants to secure his legacy, he should hand it over to Mukhisa Kituyi. Personally, I had a different opinion that maybe Professor Kivutha Kibwana is the best candidate. He served as a governor and he has all the reform credentials. He has delivered as a governor. So basically, these 2 gentlemen fits that bill. Today, if Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta decides to support Mukhisa Kituyi or to support Professor Kivutha Kibwana, that will be enough reason to rally the support from the civil society and majority of Kenyans who are not comfortable with Raila Odinga's presidency. So the question is, who between Professor Kivutha Kibwana and Dr. Mukhisa Kituyi can be or should be the compromise candidate? The fact is, when these guys meet, there is no way Mukhisa Kituyi can just agree to support Raila Odinga unless his interest is secured. Again, maybe Raila Odinga agreed with Uhuru Kenyatta. You are not going to run, I'm not going to run. Tutafute the right candidate. So right now what they are doing is basically they are talking to chart that particular path. I don't know what you think. But basically, that's my take. Thank you, guys. I want to thank you so much. We reached 100,000 subscribers the other day. YouTube is sending me the silver play button very soon, in the next 2 to 3 weeks. The account, for those who are keen, has already been verified, which means now that YouTube is satisfied with our channel. So we are now a verified channel, and there's nothing I can say. It's only by the grace and by the support which I get from this channel. In fact, I've never seen people as good as you guys. I've never seen. Who would have imagined that today, after a very short time, Makwiny channel would be at 100,000. Would have thought so. Would have thought so. It's only possible because of your channel. I mean, because of your support. Please continue supporting this channel in the smallest way you can. The moment you share those videos, I really value it. You might just don't know. The other day, I did a video about Charles Owino in Siaya. Nobody influenced me to do that video. The feedback I got from Siaya was that that video was actually in almost all WhatsApp groups. Every senior politician from Siaya read that, watched that video. And the kind of phones I received were just enormous. People trying to explain to me things which probably I didn't capture. Several phone calls from very senior people, especially from Siaya. So that's only possible because of you guys. There's certain information I normally ask people here. They are very valuable to me and to this channel. So there's nothing I can do to you guys. I know there's nothing I can do to you guys individually, but at least you can accept my appreciation. I want to thank you guys so much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you guys, and please, may you have a good day. By the way, this video, I'm doing it at 1:49 a.m. So I'll wake up again. I'm going to sleep. I'll wake up, edit it, so that you can have it in the morning. I'm doing this for you guys. Thank you guys, and may you have a good day.